Welcome, everyone. It is Thursday, January 22nd, 2023, and this is the Two Men in a Room live podcast. Thank you for joining us on our channel today. I am Anthony here in Orlando, and my co host.
My name is Vernell. I'm also from Orlando.
We are going to talk about today's topics and go through some sad news that we heard today. We just want to pause to observe a moment of silence for the 5 people that passed away on the submersible vehicle that was visiting the Titanic site. We just bow our heads for a moment of silence. It was a tragedy, and we do send our condolences to the families of everyone involved in this.
Yes, I would also like to send my condolences to all family members that was involved. But on a lighter note, what are your expectations, Anthony, in a relationship?
Well, that's a great topic for tonight. Our always favorite celebrity, Kim Kardashian, actually had some of her expectations for the next man that she wants to meet. I'm going to quote here. Number 1, protect me. Number 2, fight for me. Number 3, good hygiene. I mean, that's a given. I think I should even take that off. Unquote. Other qualities she included were being calm, no mom or dad issues, patient, supportive, genuinely help for me, successful, and good teeth. And don't worry, gentlemen, if you don't have good teeth, she is actually willing to pay for veneers for you. So you get a little bit of help if you try to go after her. So those are good requirements. I was actually at a social event last night. Got to speak with a lot of different and interesting people. And one of the main things that I actually got out of it was that a lot of women nowadays are looking for a man to kind of come in and control the situation and be a leader and kind of take over things, where they're kind of taking a step back and wanting to kind of have a more relaxed life. What do you think of that?
So, okay, let's go back to the Kim Kardashian. One of the statements that she said, hygiene, but that should be a given.
Right.
Yes, it should be a given, but everybody, hygiene is not up to par.
Right.
Not everybody. Some yes, some no. So some people do need to learn about good hygiene, no matter what the situation is.
Yes, that men in general need to step up in my playbook. From what I was hearing yesterday of why some of these women were still out seeking relationships, and some of them were in their 40s, that men were not being men. They were kind of stepping down, not taking care of themselves, letting things go, and to the other extreme, having too much ego and too much wanting to be the show rather than, supporting their woman and everything. And I feel men need to kind of embolden themselves to, like you say, keep good hygiene, take care of your body, look good, try to present yourself in a great manner, thrive to be a good supporting member of your community. And then you'll have the leadership figure that a lot of these women want, and you'll be able to take control of the relationship, and she can kind of step back a little, and you can kind of lead the way and maybe meet a really great woman out of it, like Kim Kardashian.
I just think the word control is a little bit too much, simply because the way I was raised, and I'm a 70s baby, is that yes, a man should provide for the family, right?
Correct.
But I don't think there should be no one controlling one another. To me, these days and age, because the generation has changed, everything should be either 50-50 in a relationship as far as bills, or the man should pay the rent while the woman pay the electric bill, the cable bill, the phone bills. That'll take a lot off her plate. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say it's changed a lot, even in the last 10 years, where I think women have been emboldened to start careers and become their own person. And some women just didn't want to do that. And so they're coming back and saying, hey, I'd like an easier life. I'd like it how it kind of used to be back in the 60s and 50s. And so when I say control, I mean just taking over, like you say, with rent and stuff. I would take it a step further. I would say a man should have his place altogether already and be able to afford everything before he brings the woman into it. And then that way she can kind of have the option of, say, wanting to get a job or wanting to stay at home as a mom or wanting to do, hobbies or whatever she wants to do. And you can lead the relationship to where it goes. You'll eventually want to, pick a date for marriage. We'll pick a time for children and stuff like that. And once you've been with them long enough, you two can kind of compromise and work things out a little better. But in the ultimate end, you're kind of making the best decision. Women can tend to be very emotional with things, and sometimes an emotional decision is not always the best decision, where a lot of men can be more logical. But we are seeing a society now where younger men are being brought up to express their feelings and become more emotional with stuff and to show yourself to the whole world. And it's kind of maybe swung a little too far in the other direction. Men can be emotional, they can, but in certain circumstances, your woman wants to see a brave face put on by you for them, for her, for the children, and so you have to step into that role and control the situation like that.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You say that I think it takes a good financial situation for a man to have that role in a relationship. These days and ages, things are so high due to the pandemic and the ongoing hijacking different prices on food, gas, clothing. But I think a woman should be able to feel like, hey, she could step in at any given time if her man or husband need help. I just think some women like to make their own money so they won't feel like they being controlled by the man as far as money wise, handed money only when the man want them to have the money. So I just think in a relationship, it has to be talked about. The woman should ask you should ask the woman, because some women just love to have and make their own money so they won't have to depend on their man or nobody.
Well, that's interesting that you said that. I actually met someone last night who did make her own money and then decided that she didn't want to do that anymore. And she actually shut her business down and is now looking for someone to take over as the de facto leader in a relationship and kind of pay for everything. So you have both optics of everything going on. I think it's something that you kind of have to look at within the person. And, like you say, some ladies do want to make their money. They want to be the business leader and they want to come out of it thinking that they made it on their own. So you may see that every now and then, but dealing with everyone that I dealt with last night, I don't know. I don't know.
I just think, okay, let me try to put this straight. So in a relationship, certain things can be taught in a relationship. Like with me, just say I find a significant other. I'm not looking for the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, because you can kind of like help them with that. Like, I just look at a person like what's within the heart. You know, is this person really genuine with what this person is saying? I know some people go by, oh, this person, she fine, he fine, this person got abs, this person got the perfect body, she got the big booty. Should people be looking for that in today's society in a relationship, or more so what an individual can do for them?
Well, I think it starts with looks. This is going back to, primeval man, when they would look around for the best fit woman to reproduce the species. So I think that's still within our psychology, that we've never really changed. So when you're going out and you're looking around, you're always looking for the best dressed or the best physically fit for your eyes.
I think you could change the dress code. That's simple. But to me, that's simple. But you can't change how a person is within. Like attitude wise. They work ethics. Do do they want to get up every morning and go to work? Do they want to get up every morning and help the next individual? So it's certain things that you can change, but certain things you just cannot change in a person. That's just my thoughts.
I would say for the most part, a lot of people as they get older get kind of set in their ways. So you will kind of find that they, like you say, maybe they work really hard, maybe they, go the extra effort, and then some people may not and just, would rather go an easier route, and do less and get more. There's nothing wrong with that in my eyes. I mean, if you want to, if you can provide a service to somebody to get what you want back, then it works out. In the instance of, well, you say I'm controlling the situation. At the same time, she's giving me the support and ability to control the relationship, by knowing that, if I make a decision on something, there's a reason behind it, or there's a motivation behind it, or something that's going to bring us to a better position at the end of the day, versus being combative and saying, well, I didn't want to do that right now, but now we're stuck in a mess, 6 months down the road. And, it's kind of like, well, if you had just done what I told you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Well, it all depends. Okay, so I have a question for you. So why you think women want someone to take care of them? Or is it safe to say, why do people in general want a sugar mama or a sugar daddy? You think that was the way they grew up? That's the way they was taught? My mom always taught me to work for what I want. Don't depend on nobody. So I make sure that I stick to that. And I thank God she taught me that, because I just don't think someone should be depending on the next individual. Have your ducks in a row. That way you won't be in a situation that you can't get out of. What do you think?
Well, I think if you're getting into a situation, you should kind of think about it and realize whether you actually want to be in it. And the fact that you may want to get out of it is kind of based on the living a single life and living a relationship life at the same time. If you're stepping into a relationship and you're saying, hey, I'm not going to be single anymore, I'm going to be reliant on this person, then you don't really look at things as, oh, well, maybe someday I'm going to kind of walk out of this and I kind of need to make sure all my stuff is ready. Like, you're going to be in it. You're going to, if things come up, you're going to have to try to figure it out, work around it, give and take a little with some stuff. Being in control, I think, is not being a dictator, but being more of a good king. A good king, like King Arthur, would always have advisors around him. Caesar, a great leader, always had, advisors in his Senate that would tell him, hey, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. And Caesar would take it into, thought and figure out the best outcome to help all the country at one time. And so as a man and as a leader, you're trying to make the best outcome for you and your family and not just yourself. So
Right.
if it means you giving up a little something, that's still holding control, but you're getting a better outcome on everything.
Okay, so why use the term control? Is there another term that you could use better than control, so people won't think, oh, he's controlling her, he have to control everything in a relationship, so it won't look as bad. So I think the term control need to be turned into something that's like, hey, I'm gonna be the great leader of this relationship, just not control. I just have a problem with someone saying the word control, and I just think in a relationship, if it's not going to be 50-50, everybody have to give a little and take a little. I just don't think no one should go in expecting for someone to take care of them when they should really be taking care of themselves, because everybody is an adult and everyone should have learned by now that, hey, you shouldn't depend on no one. But if you're in a relationship and let's say you both 50-50, then something happened to your significant other, then yes, you're supposed to step up as a man and say, okay, I'm gonna handle this because she's out on sick leave or whatever the situation may be. That's when you come in and make sure that you handling your business. Even there's nothing wrong with a woman. Something happened to their man, they lost a job, something happened. Hey, you have women out there that will step up to the plate and make sure their man is okay. And I find nothing wrong with neither one. I just think in a relationship, it needs to be done to make sure both individuals is still standing on solid ground.
Right. But you can provide in different ways. I mean, okay, so if you were paying for a home and you were paying electricity and you were keeping everything going and so on and so on, somebody moves in with you and they are providing a hot meal every night. They're providing comfort and support. They're helping you choose things to do a better lifestyle. They're offering, hey, you want to go walk at night so we can stay healthy and be great?
But you ain't missing no point.
There's different ways to provide
right
in relationships.
You missing
so
why you ain't missing no money. I don't need nobody to come cook for me. I don't need no one walk in the park for me. Well, let's talk about the financial situation first. Let's get that out the way to make sure we're both okay. And then we can take a walk in the park. We ain't gonna take no walk in the park. We gotta talk about the finances first. We're not gonna skip that.
Well, that's why I say yes.
If something do happen to me, this individual can step up to the plate and make sure the household is still running 100%. Not because we can't run 100% if we're taking a walk in the park and cooking a meal. No, the finances have to be there. That's so important, especially these days and ages, because you got to pay bills, then you got to try to save, because for a rainy day, some people not able to save because of their hourly wages or salary. So I just think it's important for the two to come together and try to think as one to make sure the both parties is okay. So you telling me it'll be okay if you had a home and you find the female that you really like, it's okay for her to come in, long as she's cooking, taking a walk in the park, washing clothes, cleaning, you gonna be okay with that?
If I could provide the home and everything's all set through my normal income and other passive businesses that I'm working with, if everything's provided, and let's say I get injured on the job and I can only collect a little bit in workman's comp or something, but I still have my other businesses bringing in money for me, then the house is going to be fine. There's not going to be anything wrong.
Okay, so why she can't go and get a job?
If she wishes to get a job, she could certainly get a job.
So you gonna just let her come in knowing she don't have to work at all? So
she doesn't have to work at all, but she still has to provide something for me.
Yeah, but
so that's
yourself when it comes to cooking and washing clothes and taking a walk around the park.
But if she's helping me in those, if she's helping me in those areas, that's less things that I have to do, so I can focus more on my passive businesses and getting myself healthy to get back into work and everything. So it kind of makes up for it.
No, but if you get hurt on the job, don't your coins dwindle from either your savings or checking?
It depends on how much I'm making in other arenas, we'll say.
So you would have to be doing really well monthly for her to just stay at home.
Right.
And you won't have a problem with that.
Let's say I have a ton of money in the bank and my monthly bills are just 50% of the interest that is paid on that money. So I have the money that I started with, I have my monthly interest, and I'm only using 50% of that. And the other 50% I'm putting into stocks. Those stocks start going up. Now I've got this extra income coming in, and I haven't even touched the original money. So unless something catastrophic, Lord willing, doesn't happen to me, I would be okay. And everything would still keep running.
But you also got to keep in mind, God forbid something do happen. Mm-hmm. She's working and able to handle the situation until you get back on your feet. That's all I'm saying. You just don't want someone to come in and say, "Oh, I don't have to work. My man take care of me." Oh, that's fine and dandy.
Right.
That's cool.
But you gotta
you still want her to work.
But you gotta ask her, do you take care of your man? What do you do for your man?
Right. But one is working. That's number one.
Right.
I can see if you was a millionaire and then if you choose to go that route, then that's on you. I completely understand. But if you making, let's say, $50,000, $60,000 a year, that's not gonna cut it. She need a job.
If you had a home that was only about $700 a month and you had a car that was paid off of, you could actually do that. $60K for two people.
Okay, so what's going to be $700 a month? That's a healthy down payment.
If you live in Youngstown, Ohio, you could actually get a home for about $500 a month.
Don't nobody want to live in no country. What if she's a city girl? Let's say that. What if she's a city girl, don't want to live in the country? So then what are your options?
Well, see, now you got to be careful with the city girls because the city girls are ready to take a lot more money. So you got to be able to provide that. But at the same time, you have to ask them, what are they providing for you? Like you say, the job is there and it's providing the money, but then the city girl's taking all the money and not providing anything in the relationship.
See, I don't think so, because I don't think all city girls is just all about money. Some people just want to be in the city like me. I love the city. I don't care nothing about the country. I ain't got nothing against whoever want to stay in the country, live with pigs, goats, cows, horses, and all that. Do your thing. But I'm not going to be 10, 20 miles from Walmart, Publix, or to the whatever grocery store they got in the surrounding area and just got to drive this long way just to get gas or food or anything. That's just not my way of living. I just keep me in the city and I ain't got to worry about none of that.
Right. Let's see, if you go out in the country, you find a country girl or country boy out there, they're more likely to actually wake up at 5 a.m. and work on the farm with you. Now they're choosing to do that, but then you have, someone who is helping and supporting you in the same facet that you're stating that they need to do.
So you'll be okay working on a farm?
Would I be okay with it? Probably not. I'm more city guy than country.
Okay.
I think I've proven that.
Okay, so wait.
Okay.
You say you're more of a city guy.
Right.
But why would you want to be a city guy, but your girl want to but you want a country girl?
Oh, I'm not trying to get a country girl. Nothing against country girls. They're very beautiful country girls out there that work really hard. That's just not my thing.
But you saying you want a house payment of $700? It's gonna be in the country.
No, not. If we see house prices drop dramatically, which some people are saying, we may get to that point. Or my businesses are doing well enough that I could put a substantial down payment on something and be able to get this home. See, that's where you got to step up as a man, and you got to build yourself up every day, get a little better every day, and then your options are going to open up. And you're going to be able to get the city girl that wants to have the bags and the cars, and she wants to go out every weekend and look good, and she wants you there to support everything.
But you provide the bag, you providing the cars, the looks, the glamour, the high-end clothing, right, and shoes and bags. But you keep saying the man, but what about the woman making sure she's okay if something do happen to you? She got to know how to be a go-getter herself and get that bread as well, just like you. Because you just don't want someone just sitting home, just painting their toes and finding that if you got the money.
But if that's what she wants to do,
okay. And then at the end of the day, to each his own in a relationship and how they want to run their relationship. But I just don't think one person should run a relationship. It should be collectively together as one, not someone taking control. Yeah, you can always have a leader. If you feel like this person is lacking in this certain area, then yeah. But, both parties should know how to go get the bag, make sure the bills are paid, the kids are taken care of. And, I think it'll be a much happier space than everything fall on one individual.
But in the sense that it sets the woman up for a loss, that if she's not ready, does it also set up the guy for a loss? So let's say you're a guy, you're moving in with a girl, she brings her child into it, and you say, let's split everything 50-50. Okay, great. So you go a couple years, it's going wonderful. Suddenly the magic escapes, we'll say. And you decide, you know what? I think I want to leave. Or I think I want the other person to leave. Only one problem. Everything's 50-50, so you can't really afford anything anymore.
No, that's why.
So now it sticks you in a position where you have to basically start from new.
Nope, because that's why you get something that you can afford on your own. So when that other individual leave, you still can maintain where you living at and your bills. You don't go out and be like the Joneses and get something that you depending on the next person's income. You get what you can afford when she move in, or when whoever this person move in. Hey, that's just extra income. You save, she saves. So if something do happen like that, both parties still would be okay. But I'm not going to meet nobody and say, okay, let's go get a home that I can't afford myself. I want to be able to still be able to live in that home without struggling. So I'm not going to go out there and get no Rolls Royce or Mercedes or Range Rover and the payments $1,000. Then when this individual leave, now I got to lose it all. No, I'm going to handle my business. I'm going to stay on top of my bills, and I know I'm only going to get what I can afford. That's the way I think.
So yes, going back to what I said, as a guy, you want to be able to build yourself up, get everything ready so that if you bring somebody in, you're not hurting if they end up leaving. Now, you shouldn't go in thinking that mentality of, well, they are going to leave. You try to work things out and do the best that you can with it. But if it ends up into that situation, you are, sustainable with the life that you had.
Hey, only time will tell, right?
Only time will tell. So I was at this event last night and a lot of interesting people, and something else came up with, do you think dating is the same as it was 10 years ago or so?
I just think that is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I only could speak what I think. My little answers are not always correct, but I just think yes. And then I also think no, because I just think the generation now is out there wanting people to take care of them. They don't want to work. They don't want to do things that adults should do as far as they work ethics. I'm not going to take care of nobody. I can help you, but I'm not going to take care of you. And I just think, yes, it have changed, but I just think it all depends on the two individuals that meet up. Because you do have young people that's all about they bag. You see a lot of young people working, but then again, you see a lot of older people that don't want to work, that just want someone to just give them. So I think it's just a give or take. It all depends on the individual that you come across. I know you have said differently. So what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's definitely different than it was 10 years ago. I think the advent of social media has given people much more choice, which gives you the mentality of there's always something a little bit better out there. So people kind of have this like quick nature towards approaching things now where, well, if it doesn't work out right away, it's not going to be good later. But I think that it'll eventually kind of die out with the future and how things are going. I think, dating sites will kind of slowly die off. People will start getting back into real life. But also with the advent of AI, we may end up having a whole new relationship with new and exciting inventions like humanoid robots that would be able to come and hang out with you, be a friend, be more. And how would that affect you in the future if those were to come out?
The AI is just a bunch of foolishness. Why would you want a robot to sit there and hang out with you? No, don't nobody have time for that. You should want the real deal right there in a relationship, not a AI robot sitting here being your companion and helping you cook and watch television. That's crazy to me.
Now, if you could have this robot to act in the exact way that you would want a friend to act or, a lover to act, and they could mimic it because they're constantly learning everything around them. They're watching other humans, how they react, and they react in the same type of way.
No, that's foolishness. It's plain foolishness that you would want someone in a robot. No, don't nobody have time for that. No, let's get to the real deal. I mean, why would you want a robot to be mimicked by a human being? It's not the same. It's just not the same.
You could develop exactly who you want to be with. Perfect hair, perfect body, perfect attitude.
It's still a robot. That's what you're not understanding.
But do you interact with your phone every day?
Yes.
Does it not talk back to you and deliver you the messages you want and the information you want?
I know what road you're going down, but it's not the same. It's just not. We not finna even get into that. You know that.
You could date a robotic Kim Kardashian
Don't
without
want,
even dealing with Kim Kardashian.
everybody don't want no Kim Kardashian. Everybody do not. I mean, the males probably so because of her fame and her looks and her body. But some people ain't stunned no Kim Kardashian.
Well, you tweak it a little too. You want a blonde Kim Kardashian? You want a
At the
thicker
end
Kim
of the day-
Kardashian?
No, at the end of the day, it's still a robot. I don't care who it look like. Or
Well,
how
we're gonna see.
No.
We'll see how far AI goes with all of this, and
Correct.
Will you be able to tell the difference between a human and a robot?
Yes.
You think so?
You know it. You know it.
Okay. This will be an interesting topic once they actually develop it. All those companies out there doing it, speed the process up so I can be proven right on this podcast at some later date.
Proven wrong at a later date.
All right. Any other comments or topics you'd like to talk about there, sir?
No, I think this was a fun-filled fact for the night. I enjoyed it. I would like to leave out with a quote. In a relationship, you just get to know the individual that you like. Don't waste time. Get to know that person, and it's up to you to advance and accelerate in your relationship, and hopefully things will be on the right track. That's all I got to say.
Excellent quote there. We're gonna wrap up tonight's show. If you feel free to leave some comments, we got some comments here. No, not Kim Kardashian. That was the example we had to use for tonight. We had some great comments from previous podcasts. Someone wrote, "No, do you want a 98-pound weakling? No, I don't need her to be super thin. Just don't have chiseled arms or anything. Like, don't look too robotic. Like,
just let it go. A robot is a robot. It's plain and simple. It's so let it go and just get a human. Anybody got time for no robot?
They could be perfected.
Okay. In your world.
Another great comment was, yes, men and women should abide by themselves. Paraphrasing here. But ultimately, the Lord sets up everything. I would say this. Remember the first man and woman together. We had Adam, we had Eve. Who screwed up that situation? Think about that one.
Go back and ask Adam and Eve.
That's right. Read your scripture, people. All right, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Any other comments?
No comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share. Thank you so much.
All the great buttons below us for liking and subscribing and sharing. And we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.